We have a problem. Due to the government shutdown, we're experiencing an economic data blackout. Well, we have a solution. We have other data. We always have data. Take, for example, this really cool tool, Google Trends. You simply type in a keyword such as recession, select the time frame to search, and there are a few other options. The Google Trends tool will produce a number which calculates the interest in that particular keyword. So, a score of 100 means that keyword is being searched now more than any time in that particular time frame. So we use this tool to create a pretty interesting index. We selected 5 keywords that are most likely to be used by a prospective home buyer: affordability, pre approval, home buying, mortgage, and down payment. We also selected 5 keywords most likely to be used by a prospective home seller: staging, curb appeal, home selling, appraisal, and closing. Taking all this data, we were able to construct a Google Trend Indicator. The Home Buyer Index is just the average score of all those keywords used by someone looking to buy a house. The Home Seller Index does the same thing, but only for those selling their home. Take the buyer's number minus the seller's number, and that gives us our custom buyer seller index. In blue, the buyer's index; in red, the seller's index. You'll notice most of the time the buyer's index trends higher than the seller's. I wouldn't put much into that. That's just how the data works out. Now, the buyer seller index again shows the average score of the keywords used by buyers minus those used by sellers. Over the past 5 years, this number has risen quite dramatically. That's not a big surprise. But let's dig into the data and show you what we found. It's quite interesting. The peak months for the buyer's index are January through April. We can surmise that's due to the school year and spring warming season. The low months for buyers are November and December. This is possibly due to the holidays and cold weather. As far as the sellers, the peak months are March, April, and May. That aligns with the spring home buying season. And the low months are those cold winter months spilling over to January. This is how it looks graphically. It appears that both buyers and sellers are most active in the spring. The activity trends lower to the fall and winter. This pattern tends to repeat on a seasonal basis. The first few months of each year are dominated by buyers, thus a seller's market. The sellers become more active in later spring, moving into the summer. The net activity for both buyers and sellers tends to slow in the wintertime. Visually, the trend, well, it's quite clear. With buyers dominating the few months following the new year, this would be a great time to put your house in the market. The sellers are especially strong in May and November. If you're in the market to buy a house, the data suggests next month is a good time to pull the trigger. But let's consider what's happening right now, because there's a new trend that's just beginning. While the buyers peaked in July, this October is trending above October of last year. The sellers also peaked in July, but they're not trending as well lately. The buyer seller index is up over 50% this month. In blue, the buyers. In red, the sellers. In green, the net buyer seller index. And the buyers are dominating the market. During a time of the year, we would expect growth to slow. Again, in the current month, the buyers versus sellers has increased by 50% on a year over year basis. This is following 3 months of lackluster buying activity. For some reason, the buyers are back in the market, Googling all those keywords like pre approval and down payment. What's really interesting about this data is that it's not measuring economic activity, but rather potential consumer curiosity. So, well before someone actually buys a house, the first step is to Google those topics like mortgage and affordability. What do you think? Why are potential home buyers so interested in the market all of a sudden? Is this because the Fed started cutting rates recently? I don't think the jobs market's improved much. Maybe there's something else we haven't considered. Also, join us at Substack, where we explore a lot of these ideas in much greater detail. Link in the description. We thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you back soon.